Tune in to Heartland for the best in true country music. Relive vintage specials, one-of-a-kind concerts, and country music's earliest videos. Heartland is the heart of country. The only place where you can find country music, country stars, and country lifestyles 24/7. Heartland, the heart of country.
Now on channel 13.2.
Hi, I'm John Malos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this day. Today, the focal point is on a business, a nonprofit, and it deals with animals. 436-ME-TV, option 11. You'll want to call in. We've got a cutie pie right here in the studio today. Back in a moment. Back here on the program today on Connect with Me on Me TV Fresno, and a special program today. The focal point is on business and a nonprofit that's been around for a few years now, trying to help animals stay off the street. And as a reminder, you're watching us on Comcast channel 187 and 43.6, and now 13.1. Those are the live broadcasts. You can watch us between 10 and 11 o'clock every Monday through Friday. And then the replay comes later in the day, of course, at 2 o'clock on 13.6, 8 o'clock at night on 4.6, and the Twitter account at John Malos, Me TV. And so today, I think, you know, when we look at today's program, I think we'll come to the conclusion that most of us agree that there is an overload of dogs and cats in this area. I'm talking about strays. I'm talking about an overpopulation of dogs and cats, and I don't think that's a secret to anybody. I want to roll the videotape, my friends, and show you exactly what I'm talking about, because it is a major problem right here in the Central Valley. However, some are fighting back, meaning they are out to pick up some of these strays and help to educate people at the same time about that overpopulation. The Animal Compassion Team in Fresno is one of those many organizations trying to alleviate the problem. But at times, it can seem like a never-ending task, I'm sure. There's a cute dog right there. Oh, man, love to take that guy home. The Compassion Team has a building to house some of these animals on South Orange, and quite a story as to how they acquired that place back in 2009. It's the old UC Davis building owned by the state. It's about 1,200 square feet. Inside you'll find roughly 150 dogs, maybe about 50 cats or so, roughly speaking. Now keep in mind, many of these animals are lost, no tags on them to identify. Others, of course, have been abandoned by their owners, and the majority have not been spayed or neutered. And therein lies the problem, my friends. The SPCA, the Valley Animal Center, the Fresno Bully Rescue, these are some of the organizations that have been on this program before and have talked about this problem. And so we'll talk about it again today. And these are some of the animals, of course, inside the Animal Compassion Team in Fresno. Live in our studio is Brenda Mitchell, and with her is her own guest, Edith. And she is the president and founder of the Animal Compassion Team. You're welcome to call in at 436-ME-TV, option 11, and ask your question. Hey, spay and neuter your animals. No question about it. That'll help solve some of this overpopulation problem that we're having. And remember, there are those people who do abandon their animals as well, because they go and adopt a pet and suddenly they find out, well, they can't take care of it, and so they just let it go running around on the streets of the city of Fresno. 436-ME-TV, option 11. We're back with our program today in just a moment.
We need help to find this missing child. Alexandria Lowitzer was 16 when she went missing. She was last seen in Spring, Texas in April of 2010. This is what we believe she looks like today at age 20. If you have any information, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678. Please help bring Alexandria Lowitzer home.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer. the first pulsator agitator washer. And now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean Dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
We're back here in the studio at Ventura TV. Of course, on this Tuesday morning, the focal point is on business and ACT. It's called the Animal Compassion Team, been around for a few years now, since 2009. And Brenda Mitchell is the president and founder. How are you this morning? So you got Edith with you, huh?
Yeah, I'm great. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're here too. And so how old is Edith?
Edith's about 10. She's a senior Chihuahua. Very sweet, very friendly, very lovable, and very adoptable.
Yeah. How long have you had her?
We've had Edith for about a year now. And,
a year?
A year, yeah.
And nobody has wanted to take her home?
Well, you know, the older dogs are a little tougher to find forever homes for, so...
Really?
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't cause any problems, right? She
No.
doesn't bite. She doesn't bark at 3 in the morning, right? And so...
No. She should be asleep under the blankets at 3 in the morning. She hardly has any teeth. So,
oh, she hardly has any teeth, really?
So if she bites, it won't hurt.
Yeah. How does she eat then?
Oh, she can eat fine. She's got just enough teeth to where she can crack up kibble, and then she gets lots of good canned food supplement too.
Oh, that's good. Does she take any other supplements or anything like that? Does she drink a lot? Or?
Love and water. That's pretty much it.
Water. All right. Tell me about the Animal Compassion Team as we roll the videotape. Let's take the one about the dogs. I know there's an overabundance of animals on the street. Talk about that problem and how big a problem it is here in the Central Valley. And we're looking at the same time that the viewers at home are looking at some of the animals inside the Animal Compassion Team complex there in Fresno. How big a problem is it?
It's a huge problem. We're #1 in the state of California for euthanasia numbers due to an overpopulation issue. We talk to cities all around us that are successful and are getting their numbers down, and Fresno's not. It is declining a little bit, but not nearly enough to when we're still euthanizing so many wonderful, healthy, happy dogs. And the dogs you see in our videos, our center is kind of we're a no-kill organization, which means when we take them in, they have a safe spot for as long as it takes. The downside of that is if it takes a long time, that's space that we don't have for other pets that need our help. And certainly a lot of the shelters around us do need some assistance, and we're working to come up with a few solutions for that. We're actually building a new building so we can be able to go into some of the bigger shelters that have higher euthanasia numbers and be able to take more animals from them to help.
So the question is, why isn't the problem being rectified? Why does it seem to be getting worse? The numbers are not going down.
Well, the numbers are going down. Thanks.
Not to any significance, though.
But perhaps, in the 70s, it was 70,000 animals going through the doors of the SPCA, and now their last reported numbers was 30,000 in there. And then,
yeah, but don't forget, you have all these other organizations that weren't here back then.
You do.
So
it comes down to simple lack of spay and neuter. And that's the bottom line. And there's so many programs now. The Hope Animal Foundation has been there since 2006, I believe, and they've spayed and neutered about 175,000 animals since they opened their doors. Right now, they've got free dogs under 20 pounds. The only thing you have to do is provide a rabies certificate, or they'll provide it for you for an additional $15. But that's what it costs to spay a dog under $20 right now, is $15.
Wow, it's really cheap, but you can find places where they're going to do it for free, right?
Sometimes there's lots of programs. Valley Animal Center does programs from time to time because they have a spay and neuter clinic. Hope by far is the high volume, is the one that's really kicking out the maximum amount. SPCA does have some programs from time to time, and then there's some great vets in town that are also offering discounts and low prices for spay and neuter. So it's just a matter of taking away excuses and getting it done. I think too often folks have animals, they don't get them fixed, they just don't make it a priority.
So what's the answer to fix the problem? What's the real answer?
Just spay and neuter your pets and be responsible.
Simple as that?
Simple as that. Just as simple as that.
And so if everybody spay and neutered their pets, the overpopulation problem would be solved?
Yeah, I mean,
Really?
really it would. Other than your people who adopt and then decide they don't want the pets. But
Yeah.
if the load was off and there were less, then organizations like ours, like ACT, ARF, Fresno Bully Rescue, even SPCA and the other shelters, would be able to focus more on the dogs that are truly in need at that time and be able to find great quality homes. Right now, there's so many coming through the doors that it just becomes so difficult for anybody to find enough homes for all of them. And then finding good quality homes that stick, you know, asking people to do something as simple as putting an ID tag on their dog. That way, if it does get out of your yard, it can go home.
Let me ask you a political question. What do you think about what happened a few years ago with Council Member Clint Olivier calling out the SPCA and, you know...
It needed to be done. Clint was brave, and it needed to be done.
But he had no answer, and there is no answer. Okay, you can call somebody out, but if you don't have your own answer as to what to do with these animals, and if they didn't have enough space and couldn't handle the overpopulation, what was the alternative other than to euthanize these animals?
Well, there's other alternatives. There really
Such
are.
as?
There's a lot of programs, and those programs were provided, and they were provided by a lot of different people. There were 22 rescue organizations that stood up at that time and said, hey, SPCA, let's look at some other alternatives. Let's look at
What
what's
are
worked.
those other alternatives?
Well, there's quite a few steps, but trap, neuter, and return, spay and neuter programs, owner reunification programs, adoption programs, working with rescue organizations. The list goes on, and they're detailed. But those details are extremely important in accomplishing no-kill in our community. And unfortunately, the SPCA then and still refuses to work with us as rescue organizations to implement this.
We'll get into that more. Caller, are you there? Go ahead.
Yes, I am. One question. The certain communities go and capture their cats, the stray cats, they neuter or they spay them, and then let them go back to where they were picked up. They found it was very successful. Do you have any programs like that? Thank you.
Trap, neuter, and return programs. There's quite a
few. For cats. I think
cats.
he was talking about cats. Are you talking about cats, sir? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, there actually is. There's not unlimited programs available to pay for it because one of the big challenges in our community is limited funding and limited resources. However, trap, neuter, and return is something that can be done fairly easy and with assistance. If somebody reaches out and they've got a colony of cats or cats in their area, we know the studies have been done that you have to spay and neuter, release. If you trap them and get rid of them, more cats just come. And so
they multiply.
It's called the vacuum effect, and it's actually been studied. Alley Cat Allies is the leader in cat issues and has everything listed on their website, all the way down to YouTube videos to make it easy for people to see how to do it.
Quickly, got to go to break. What's the worst? Overpopulation, is it worse with dogs or cats?
It depends on the time of year, but it's definitely cats.
I don't know. I thought you were going to say that for some reason.
Yeah. Time of year this is cat season, and you know the cat issue is quite complicated, and a lot of people don't know it. We're learning so much about cats and finding out that their needs are so much different than dogs. And
we'll get into that too.
Okay.
All right, we're going to talk more with Brenda Mitchell. She is the president, the CEO, the chief cook and bottle washer, the founder of the Animal Compassion Team, and we can't leave out the most important part, Edith. Edith is here today too. 436-ME-TV, option 11. Back in a moment.
Retro TV, your home for classic television. The greatest shows in history are here for you to enjoy. Join Cosby and Culp as secret agent men in I Spy. Ride along the Ponderosa with the Cartwrights in Bonanza. Hit the beat with Joe Friday in Dragnet. And that's not all. Retro TV offers endless fun and excitement for the whole family to enjoy. Retro TV, the best in classic television.
You can find Retro TV on over-the-air channel 13.4.
When you're looking for KitchenAid innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance.
With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, we'll help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified KitchenAid appliances save you energy and money, and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
Back here with Edith and Brenda Mitchell of the Animal Compassion Team. So you say that Edith has been around, what, your place for about a year?
About a year, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So if they're interested in adopting Edith, who is, what, 10 years old?
About 10 years old. A little adorable white-faced Chihuahua.
Yeah. And so what would they do? How do people contact you?
That's easy. Go to our website, animalcompassionteam.com, and you can look at Edith's profile and read about her and see if she's the right dog for you. And we have an online application there that you can quickly fill out, and just to help us make sure that we're matching up the right dog with the right family so it sticks.
Yeah. So what's the telephone number if they want to call?
Our number is 559-299-6364.
Okay, say that again slowly.
299
6364.
6364.
Okay, and then your website again. Say that one more time.
Animalcompassionteam.com.
Hey, very, very easy. And so Edith's picture is on the website.
Oh yeah, all of our animals are listed on our website.
Yeah, and I forgot if I asked you this before. Is she up to date on her shots and everything?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. And you couldn't tell me earlier if she's housebroken. You don't know that.
I never will tell you anybody, any dog is housebroken.
Yeah.
It's too important. I think people need to get what they expect. And if I tell you the dog is housebroken and then she has an accident and potties on your floor,
They're going to blame you.
You'll be disappointed. And we don't want you to be disappointed.
They're going to call you and say, hey, Brenda, I thought you said... Okay, so let's get back to Clint Olivier.
Okay.
And the SPCA. So you say the SPCA is still refusing to work with other organizations in the area that are a no-kill zone?
Well, what happened is they put into effect a contract, so to speak. And the contract was really one-sided and very unreasonable. And most of the rescue organizations that reviewed it and had their attorneys review it said, you know, these are the stipulations that we would ask them to change. And so quite a few of the organizations got together and asked, can we sit down, can we talk about this, can we come up with something that works for both of us? Mm-hmm. And we got zero replies. There was absolutely no response back. And they were not interested in working with us or changing it. It was kind of an all or nothing. Sign this or don't pull our animals. And that was even at the risk of more of their animals being euthanized due to lack of rescues pulling. Now they have a list of rescue organizations that do pull from them, but if you look at it, the majority of them are not from Fresno. They're out-of-town rescues that are pulling specific breeds, or they're rescues that are mixed breed but from other areas.
So they don't really work with the Bully Rescue or any of these other places?
No.
They don't?
No.
And how many are they euthanizing each year, would you say? Or maybe a month? Let's do it that way.
Well, you know, I don't know. I have not kept up with their numbers the way that we used to.
Well, give me a rough estimate.
Well, their last reported numbers was still 70% of their animals were being euthanized that walked through the doors. So that's a pretty high number. That's a lot, and I think in some cases it was 75.
But again, what would your answer be?
Well,
what's the alternative?
Well, there's a lot of alternatives. One, if you've got rescue organizations that are wanting to help you, why not take their help? That would be the first question.
And who's going to house and feed all these animals?
Well, right now, you mean who's going to house them? Well, we hope to get many of them adopted. We hope to get many of them back into their original homes. If rescue organizations are going to take them, there's not a rescue organization in the valley that's getting any government funding. The SPCA still gets $3 million of government money to provide a service for you. There's Liberty Animal Control now that provides county animal control facilities.
Right.
But you know, it's not just, we understand the SPCA can't hold the dogs indefinitely, but it's making the efforts to get them out. They were recently in a contest where they could win $100,000 through the ASPCA and Rachel Ray. They ran out of dogs because they were doing free adoptions. They were pulling dogs from other shelters around the valley, Madera, the list goes on of where they were going to get dogs to bring into their facility. So when there's $100,000 on the table, they can all of a sudden get their dogs adopted and have so much space that they can go find more. But when there's no $100,000 on the table, all of a sudden we're euthanizing dogs again. So there's got to be a motivating factor, and that motivating factor has to be we want to save animals' lives.
All right, roll a piece of videotape here, and we'll use the play yard as our backdrop here for the video, and you can talk about your facility. Let's see, I mentioned this was a state facility. It's about 1,200 square feet inside the building there. That's the yard, though, right?
Yeah, that's our front play yard, and that's where when families come to meet animals, they can take dogs out and visit with them and spend time with them. We also do training classes in there. I want to start off by saying the building was donated to us by Daryl Reidenhauer and Fresno Humane Solution. It was a wonderful, wonderful building, but it was old and tired, and it had been abandoned for 3 years. It was a California surplus property.
Okay.
And then everything you see, the fountains, the roses, all the beautiful stuff there was donated by donors who believe that there's a better way to do things in this community. So, and then we've worked really hard to make it a friendly place where people feel comfortable and can come and enjoy their adoption experience. It's stressful. If you're serious about an adoption and you really are thinking about what you're doing, you're making a 15-year commitment potentially. So with that being said, it's got to be a good decision. And it's good to be able to go to a place where you're comfortable doing that.
I don't see any animals out there.
Well, we didn't have any out at that moment, but there's a lot. Those play yards are absolutely stuffed all the time. We do play group on a regular basis. And these are our play yards. So the kennels, where we have footage of that, the dogs get to go out and play. And we're constantly looking to recruit also, because we just started a new program called Dogs Playing for Life. And it's going across the country, and it's a great way to get dogs out, burn off some stress, and truly get to know your dogs so that when an adopter comes in, they know whether they're good with other pets or what play style they have, just those kind of basic things.
Edith looks like she could be held for...
Ever.
Forever.
Just ever.
Forever. She looks very comfortable right now. All right, time to take a break here on Connect with Me, 436 MeTV option 11. Back with more of Brenda Mitchell from the Animal Compassion Team and Edith, who is up for adoption. If you want to adopt Edith or any other animal, you can call them at 299-6364. Back in a moment.
Attention all units. We have reports of 2 motorcycle cops protecting California's highway.
That's for us, good buddy.
The Men of Chips are on MeTV.
Hi, I'm John Baker. I'm John Baker. It's Officer Baker.
He's the blonde one.
Hi there.
Officer Poncherello, man.
Frank Poncherello.
Oh, I'm Frank Poncherello.
And he's the one who's Eric Estrada.
There's no way I wouldn't remember a name like that.
Catch the blonde one and the one who's Eric Estrada on
now
Chips.
On MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Hello, I'm John Walsh. We need your help to capture this fugitive. Julio Cesar Guevara Mejia is wanted by the FBI in Sacramento for the attempted murder of a 19-year-old female in November of 2007. Police say he lured the young woman to a hotel room where he shot her 3 times in the chest. He could be in Palm Springs, California or Houston, Texas. Contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI if you have any information.
We're back here on Connect with Me talking about the Animal Compassion Team. It's been around since 2009. We got a call coming in. Go ahead, caller. Are you there?
Yes, good morning. I'm watching your program. Years ago, a couple of years ago, there was a plane that went to like Marin County or somewhere in California because they had no adoption. Everybody spayed and neutered. Do they still have that program where they send dogs to other parts of California for people to adopt?
Absolutely. In fact, 2 weekends ago, we just sent 10 wonderful large breed dogs to San Francisco SPCA, and they're up on their website. We do a regular transport monthly and ship about 40 dogs to Minnesota with the help of the Animal Humane Society in Minneapolis. Because they are just excited to get these Chihuahuas there and to give them homes. And it's not just us. We work with Animal Rescue of Fresno, and we invite other rescue groups and shelters to bring in their little Chihuahuas that are really sweet dogs but haven't been adopted. And so we're sending them all over the place. I know ARF has a program called Heaven Can Wait, where they take about 60 dogs up to Oregon on a regular basis because these areas have accomplished lower numbers, and they have homes waiting for great rescue dogs.
Yeah. Okay, so you can and do send some of your animals outside the area.
Heck yeah, we do. We will work very hard to do whatever we need to do to save their lives and get them into safe hands.
Okay.
And a big chunk of our adoptions actually come from the Bay Area and the coastal areas.
All right. Let's go inside the Animal Compassion Team Center there on South Orange. Another piece of videotape. And, you know, we were talking earlier about dogs and cats, and here's one of your animals there. There's one of your dogs.
Yeah, those donations came in while we were filming.
Yeah, and so these are some of the donations that have actually come in here. So what is the difference between care with a dog versus a cat?
Well, it's not necessarily the difference in care, because everybody needs food, everybody needs water, everybody needs affection, but different animals have different needs, and cats certainly have different needs. Cats are just very different beings than dogs are.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
then,
what are their needs versus dogs?
well, it depends on the cat. I mean, sometimes we have the conversation of feral cats versus community cats. You know, dogs are pretty content to be with you all the time, and a lot of cats are too. But
Cats are more aloof, though, aren't they?
They can be.
Standoffish.
They can be. You know, all animals are completely individuals, and they're harder to contain, so it's important to keep them in safe areas.
Right.
But there's a lot of feral kitties that they don't want to be your friend, and they don't necessarily need to be your friend.
Yeah.
They're just looking for a safe place to eat.
They're just looking for a free meal.
Yeah,
that's all.
yeah, and a safe place to be, and they provide a great service.
Okay. Caller, are you there? Go ahead.
Yes, good morning, John, Brenda.
Hi.
I've had dealings with the SPCA before, and I have the impression that they really want to euthanize animals. And I've wondered if there might be some advantage to them financially if they're doing something with the carcasses of these animals that they euthanize. Or am I just being a little bit paranoid there in that area?
That's a great question, caller. Wow. So are they gaining financially?
No.
They're not.
They're not. They're not. As dark and ugly as that may be, and I'm sure are shelters out there that have done that in the past. I believe back quite a few years ago, Tulare County Animal Control got in trouble for that, and their entire staff was terminated over it. But
how can you be sure that they're not gaining financially? How can you say that with such confidence?
I can't, I guess, say that now, but I can tell you that when I was there, and see, I used to work there, they use a group called D&D rendering service, and they pick up a couple times a week, and they discard of the bodies, and in fact the SPCA has to pay them by the pound to pick up the dogs from them.
Wow. So what happens to the carcasses?
They're rendered, and they're rendered like cattle, and what's done with that is questionable. There's different opinions. Again,
nobody knows where they go or where they're taken?
They have an official statement, and I can't argue that official statement, but there's a whole lot of ugly in that, and unfortunately what we do with them after the fact is dark enough, but the reality is we really need to put the focus on what we do with them while they're still here alive. But as far as I know, no, the SPCA has a lot of things that we would love for them to improve, but I do not believe they're profiting off the animals or off the dead bodies of animals.
All right. I got to say this, though, as we roll another piece of videotape inside your Animal Compassion Team, I'm going to say something you may not like. You know, we treat animals sometimes better than we treat people.
Yeah.
At least your animals are eating 3 square meals a day, where there's some homeless people out there not getting even 1 meal a day. So isn't that a shame?
Well,
when you stop and think about it?
Okay, so my unpolitical answer.
Yeah, go ahead. What is it?
Dogs are innocent. People have choices. So that's just the bottom line.
You got it. Okay, so inside the facility here, how many cages do you have? And you put more than 1 dog in a cage?
Yeah, if they are comfortable together, we do like to co-house. But if we're trying to keep it to a nice, comfortable environment, we try to keep individual dogs. It's easier for our volunteers. We definitely can beef up emergency housing if we need to on a short term, and that's something we've thought about in the case of catastrophes. Our play yards can quickly be converted into housing areas. But the dogs have a lot of fun. They get out on a regular basis, and you know, one of the things that we have to balance is the fact that we do boast of the term no kill, and that can sometimes be long term for the animals. So we do have to keep them very emotionally healthy and sane.
Yeah,
And
there's your watchdog for you.
Yeah, that's Chanel. She's awesome. She just wants to go play. That's all. That's Chucky. He's an awesome boy too. And oh gosh, this is Mr. Cutie. We just got him from Kings County Animal Control, and his name is Bubba. And we just love him dearly. He's a sweet boy. He's an older pit bull. And, you know, cropped ears, got some scars on him, and he's sadly the dog that a lot of people are afraid of, and there's really nothing to be afraid about Bubba. He's just a good boy.
Okay. So let me ask you a question you're probably not going to like.
Okay.
Is your place clean?
I think so. I mean, we work hard to make it clean.
How many staff members do you have?
We don't have any staff. We're all volunteers. We're 100% volunteers.
Okay. How many volunteers do you have help you clean up?
On a daily basis, we have probably 3 to 10. It just depends on the day. Weekends, we have a lot. And we do our best to stay on top of everything and keep everything picked up as much as possible and keep it all smelling good. And it's a never-ending process because it's an old building.
Oh, I know.
It's an old building, and there's a lot to do. You get it looking good, and then you repeat. We've got a wonderful volunteer, Joseph's Floor Cleaning, that comes in and cleans our floors for us every 2 weeks, like clockwork. And that's just our main halls and main areas. And then everything else is sanitized with good sanitizers.
Yeah. I imagine, I got to go to break here, but I imagine you're not going to put Edith in the same cage with, say, a Great Dane or a Pit Bull or something, right?
No way. Edith actually is in an area that's all hers with some other small dogs. We do have some little co-housed areas for our small dogs where they kind of all get to hang out together, and they go outside. Everybody gets outside every day and gets to spend quite a bit of time outside, and then they come back in and go to bed at nighttime. Yeah. And so they have as normal of lives as we can possibly try to give them.
Okay. We're going to come back here on Connect with Me. Brenda Mitchell from the Animal Compassion team is here, along with Edith, who looks like she wants to fall asleep there in your arms. Back with more. 436-ME-TV, option 11. Do call in. We're back in a moment.
Euronews, most watched news channel in Europe.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the save energy, save time, save money place. The Energy Star qualified #1 rated high efficiency Cabrio from Whirlpool Place. You heard right. Right now, save big on select Whirlpool Cabrio laundry pairs and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months. At the hometown low price, think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
Back here with Edith and Brenda Mitchell, Animal Compassion Team, 299-6364 if you want to adopt Edith or any other animal out there. We're glad that they're here today. Caller, I'm assuming you're there. Good morning.
Yes.
Go ahead, you're on the air.
Okay. I guess I misunderstood the answer. How do they gas the dogs? How do they do that? What does render mean? In other words, they have all these, sorry to say, dead animals. What do they do with the poor animal once they're dead? Where do they go? And what does render mean?
Keep the caller there. So are you, okay, caller, are you talking about the SPCA? Because the Animal Compassion Team is a no-kill shelter. So are you talking about the SPCA?
You know, I'm so sorry. I always wondered about that question and still don't get an answer.
That's okay. We can answer it.
What do they do with those animals that are...
In the state of California, it's not legal to gas animals anymore. And from time to time, we still hear about that happening in certain locations where they feel like they don't have other options. But in the state of California, animals are euthanized with a euthanasia solution, and that's supposed to be done under the direction of a veterinarian. And then after that, they are sent for a rendering. Now, rendering is basically a process where a rendering plant which is D&D rendering service that picks up all over the state of California, comes and picks up the dead animals from the different shelters and veterinary offices and those types of things. And then the animals are processed, and that's probably not a subject we want to go into here, but you could certainly do some research and you can educate yourself on it. And they break down the animals, and then they're processed into other products or a lot of different things. And again, it's a pretty dark subject, but...
Caller, go ahead. Are you still there?
Yeah, I think I heard everything I needed to hear. That's what I was wondering. What do they do with the poor animals after they're dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it is a very, very, very ugly subject. And you know, it is... There's been times when they were cremated, and unfortunately with the cost of energy nowadays, it's very expensive to cremate, and obviously putting them in landfills is a huge environmental hazard, so that's the direction they came up with. But again, the thing I would appeal to most is, rather than focusing on that terribly dark subject, let's focus on how to keep them out of landfills and out of rendering trucks and keep them alive and in homes. And that happens with spay and neuter.
I don't think we focused on that today, but I think it's a question that a lot of people have, even I did, and it's, you know, you wonder, okay, after they kill the animal, what happens to that animal? Where do they go? Do they bury them? Do they cremate them? You know, what do they do?
Well, that's the rendering process.
Yeah.
That's where they go. They go to the rendering plants.
Why is it such a dark secret, I wonder, as to what they do with
Well, I think everybody wants to believe in something good that happens to these little creatures' bodies afterwards, and the reality is it's just not. Now, if you have a pet euthanized at your own vet's office, you're going to be given a few options. We appreciate and encourage people to use Fresno Pet Cemetery. They're a wonderful organization, and they offer group cremation, which is where your pet is basically cremated with other animals and then sprinkled on their property, and it's a lot less expensive versus individual, where you get the animal's ashes back and you can keep them with you.
Okay. All right. Roll another piece of videotape, and we're going to take a look at some more dogs in there. Let's talk about the financial aspect, because you started this organization back in 2009 as a nonprofit. Where does your money come from specifically?
Donations, and
it's all donations.
Pretty much all donations, and we have adoption fees. Our adoption fee for our dogs is $185, and cats is $65, and that helps us to get some of what we spend back. But of course, it's not even close to being as much as what we spend on a lot of the animals. We get a lot of animals that come in with medical needs, and that's one of the things that are addressed right off the bat. We have a great veterinarian that we work with, and they're wonderful to us. But donations is where the majority of it all comes from. Wonderful, wonderful charitable donors that believe in what we're doing and love animals and want to make a difference. And so they take money out of their pocketbooks on a regular basis and allow us to do what we do.
You have your regular donors. Roughly how much is donated to your organization a year?
You know, I'm not the treasurer, so that I really can't answer, but I'm going to say it's about $175,000 a year is what our budget is and what goes through our organization. And now, just
so you probably take in a little bit more than that.
Yes, but when you break that down as to what we do with that amount of money, it's incredible when you compare it to a lot of organizations that have gigantic budgets.
Right.
And of course, even the organizations locally that have much, much higher budgets than we do, it's still way under some of the other areas.
So it cost about $175,000 just to keep your place open a year. So if you take in $300,000 or $400,000, you're clearing. I'm not saying you do, but I'm just saying if you do. Now, part of those costs include your salary, or
I don't get a salary.
You don't get a salary.
We're all volunteers.
So everybody is a volunteer.
Everybody's a volunteer.
There isn't one paid person?
No, and that's why we're able to do as much as we do for as long as we do. And
so all the money goes to operating the building,
and the animals.
The animals and the care of the animals.
Yes.
If they're sick, they got to go to the vet.
Yes.
They have to get their shots.
Yes.
They have to be, tended to if they're sick.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yes, and feeding them and so on and so on. We spend about $2,000 a month on food for the dogs and cats alone. Wow. And yes, and now our budget is set according to if we bring in a certain amount of money, that money is going to go right back into the animals. So of course, like any smart organization, we're going to have a reserve in case of a rainy day or the world falls apart. But we're constantly implementing new programs and trying to help in every way we can.
Well, you have caller. Hang on a minute. So you have a treasurer. Doesn't that treasurer get paid?
No, nobody gets paid.
The treasurer is a volunteer.
Yeah, I know, it's so hard for people to.
She keeps track of your money.
Yeah, she's got a part-time job as the treasurer for a church, and that's her paying job. And then and she's one of our founders, and she's one that believes in it.
What's her name? Give her a little plug.
Her name is Joyce Brandon, and we love her dearly.
All right. But you accept no government money?
No government money whatsoever.
Okay, it's all donations. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hi, last year I went to a fundraiser. I was wondering if you're going to have another one this year. It was called Puppy Palooza or something.
Oh, yeah.
Is that every year?
Yeah, it's Saturday. It's Saturday. It's at the same location, and we're super excited to do it.
This Saturday?
This Saturday.
Where?
Yeah.
What time?
Oh, it's oh gosh, you know, I don't know the address off the top of my
Brenda.
head. I know, I should know it. I think it's 11933. It's just about a mile past Wildwater Adventures on Shaw Avenue, and we've done it there every year. This is our 6th one. It's a lot of fun. We have a live band every year, but this year we have Masters of Rock, which is, their guitarist is also one of our foster daddies, and he's a big rescue guy, and they're really great. And there's going to be lots of food and auction items, and it's a really nice night, and all the money goes back. And this year's super special because the first $10,000 we collect in donations is not being matched once but twice, so the money will be tripled. So if we can bring in 10,000, we actually bring in 30,000, and we're raising money for a brand new building that we're building. And
when's that going to be?
We're building it as we speak. We're just working on getting through the red tape, but Granville Homes has actually matched us dollar for dollar on it, and it's a huge project, but it'll enable us to be able to go into a lot of the shelters that are in desperate need and be able to take a lot of their dogs from them and give them some relief.
So much of your donations coming from Darius Assemi, huh?
For that, it's 50-50. The project is about $350,000, and he's matching us dollar for dollar on it.
I got to take a break. We'll talk about that a lot more, and we have more video to show from the Animal Compassion team out there at South Orange in Fresno. 436-MeTV, option 11, the big fundraiser. Hey, I didn't even know that this coming Saturday. You know what? You have a friend here that came with you. Ask her what the address is so we can give that out. Well, back in a moment here on Connect with Me.
A top secret location. It's the spies who love me, bringing together MeTV's top super spies to fight evil at a memorable moment's notice. They're daring.
That's right.
Brave.
Now what are we gonna do?
The best we can.
Suave.
Does that apply to me, Oscar? Possibly.
And smart.
The old finger in the gun trick.
Maxwell Smart.
MeTV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
We need help to find this missing child. April Andrews went missing when she was 15 years old. She was last seen in Pea Ridge, Arkansas in November of 2006. This is what we believe she looks like today at 23. If you have any information, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678. Please help bring April Andrews home.
Back here on Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno. So the just found out what the address is for that fundraiser this coming Saturday. What time does it start, Brenda?
It's 5 to 9.
All right, 5 to 9. The fundraiser is for the Animal Compassion team. Get out your pencil, piece of paper. It's 11933 East Shaw in Clovis. It's near Wildwater Adventures. Takes place at 5 o'clock, right?
5 to 9, and it's $30 to come in.
$30.
That includes dinner and
dancing, drinks.
It'd be loads of fun. Loads of fun. And there's still water in the lake. So.
Yeah, and don't drink and drive, by the way.
Oh, heck no. No drinking and driving.
No, let's roll a piece of videotape here. We have about 3 to 4 more here to go, and we're looking at cats inside the facility here. And so you're talking to Darius Assemi, and he's donating what?
Well, we had a conversation with Darius, and he said, how can I help Animal Compassion team? And we said, well, one of the things that we want to do is remodel this building that we have so that we can go into shelters where there may be potentially a lot of illness and be able to take those animals out in pretty large quantities, quarantine them properly, get them healthy, and get them up for adoption.
Wow.
And he said, no, let's not do that. Let's do this. And it
Which
was...
is what?
Which is let's tear down that old building and build a new one that's better.
So he's helping you with that?
Oh, yeah. He's not only helping us with it, one of his staff members has been phenomenal in
Who's that,
helping
by the
us. Her name's Claudia.
Okay.
And helping us get through the whole process of getting past the city of Fresno and satisfying all their requests and getting to a place to where we can start construction. And it's a 4,800 square foot intake facility.
Wow.
Yeah, it's state of the art, easy to clean. It'll be really nice.
Smaller than what you have now?
Well, yes, but it'll be an addition to. So it's not smaller because the space is more usable.
Mm-hmm.
See, our building was offices, and we've converted it and made it into what we need it to be. So.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a brand new nice building with lots of drains in the floor and
It'll be an updated facility. It'll be state of the art.
Yeah.
And just talking about cats earlier, you see, I mean, if you have a cat like this, you put down a bowl of food, some water, and you leave to go to work. You don't worry about it, right?
It depends on the cat, but yeah,
box
cats are easy. Cats are pretty easy for the most part.
In fact, your cat doesn't want you to stay home. Your cat wants you to leave the house.
Some, you're right. Some, it's true. You're very
They don't
true.
want to be bothered.
Some people definitely should only have cats, and then there's those who want a dog, but they should only have cats.
Well, because you don't
They're
have
easy.
to tend to a cat. If you have a doggy door or a cat door, the cat can go in and out, do whatever they want. You don't have to walk your cat.
Right. Well, cats are complex creatures. We have a lot of ideas about what they used to be and what they are. And the reality is, it's just like our dogs. The more we learn about them, the more we find out that we can make their lives better. They make our lives better. Just depends on what you want to put into it.
I learned early on as a kid, my first animal was a cat. I had a black cat, and I wanted to be close to the black cat. The cat wanted nothing to do with me.
Well.
So then I got a dog, and the dog, he was totally attached.
Oh, dogs are definitely into their people for the most part. But even then, dogs are individuals too. We have quite a few dogs at our center that really aren't interested in people, but they would make great best friends for another dog.
Yeah, and if you have a bunch of toys in the house for the cat, happy as a lark.
Yeah.
Or happy as a cat.
Yeah, they're pretty funny.
But you got to have that litter box, though.
You do, you definitely do, and scoop it regularly. We hear a lot of people complain about their litter boxes and that the cats aren't using them anymore. And well, a lot of times they need to be cleaned more, or they're complicated creatures. They're not quite as easy as we think.
Well, if you leave them alone, they're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll live forever, it seems. Cats have 7 lives, dogs have 1.
Yeah.
Or is it 9 lives?
9.
It's 9 lives. Okay, it's 9 lives, and, you get a cat tree, and, there's a cat tree right there, right?
Yeah, lots of cat trees.
Right.
That's
so let me ask you a question that came to mind. Why is Darius Assemi involved in your organization?
Because he loves animals and he believes in what we're doing. And that's the bottom line.
Have you had a conversation with him about this?
Oh, gosh, tons of conversations with Darius. He's wonderful. Granville Homes is wonderful. They're committed to making a difference in the San Joaquin Valley and Fresno especially. And so we're just proud to have their support and to be an organization that they have faith in. And, we've got quite a few organizations that have had great faith in us. Like I said, Daryl Reidenhauer, Fresno Humane Solution, cared enough and had enough faith in us to buy us the building that we're in. And that was a game changer for us. Wow. Because up till then, we were all out of foster homes.
So who would be the ideal person to adopt a dog like Edith? She's very quiet. She's not very active. She's obviously an older dog, 10 years old.
She's active. She'll play.
Oh, she'll play. But not right now. She's not. If you want her to sit quietly like she's doing now, she will.
Right.
So she's very obedient, it seems.
Right. And she blows the myth about little yapping dogs, doesn't she?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I came in here today and said, a smaller dog like that is going to bark and bark and bark and bark.
Right.
But she hasn't barked once.
You did. And one of the things we know about dogs is that a lot of people have a lot of ideas for what dogs are, and it comes from their experience and what people tell them. And the reality is dogs are as different as we are as people. They're individuals, and you can't even break them down into breed as to what to expect.
Yeah. Okay, 436 MeTV option 11. A few minutes left here with Brenda Mitchell and Edith. And if you want to call the Animal Compassion team, their number is 299-6364. The fundraiser is this Saturday at 11933 East Shaw in Clovis. Starts at 5 p.m. It's $35 to get in the door. Back in just a moment. Or is it 30?
You can watch Dr. TV on over-the-air channel 13.9.
Is taking care of laundry taking too much of your time? Have you become a missing mom? With a new fast, efficient washer and dryer from Ventura TV Video Appliance, you'll spend more of your day the way you want. Save now on Frigidaire's Advanced Affinity Laundry Pair. Let Frigidaire save you energy, water, and time. Don't spend your life on laundry. Upgrade today at Ventura TV Video Appliance and save.
Back here on the program, 436 MeTV option 11. Little time left. Caller, are you there?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead. You're on the air.
I'm got an issue here. I've got one cat that had 4 kittens, and then 3 of the girl kittens have had kittens. So I've got almost 20 kittens. So I don't know what to do.
Well,
so I was wondering about getting them fixed, or what is the process, the age, and I'm just overwrought. I have technically 4 sets of babies. 4 were born Saturday, and I have them in my garage in a box. So I don't know what to do.
How many does she have? How many do you have?
Said about 20.
20?
I have 20.
Well,
20 cats?
You do know exactly what to do because you already answered it. You want to get them fixed.
Stay there, caller.
Okay.
I mean, is this legal to have 20 cats?
Well, it's actually not. In the city of Fresno, you can only have 4 animals.
Okay.
But our caller's kind of common. We hear this from a lot of people who have a cat that popped onto their property, or they ended up with it somehow.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, with no disrespect, caller, didn't get the pet fixed, and now they've got a problem. And the reality is the only way that problem's going to stop is by getting those animals fixed.
What should she do now that she has the 20? And by the way, I commend you for taking care of those animals,
Absolutely.
caller. I mean, my heart goes out to you, and you should be commended. You have a big heart, it sounds like, taking care of that many cats. But now you have a problem on your hands, so what should she do?
She's got to get them fixed. Again, Hope Animal Foundation has great prices. Valley Animal Center has great prices. Cat House on the Kings has a great program.
Take them to your place or take them to the animal?
No, she needs to get them fixed and then
But what if she can't
them.
take care of 20?
Well, unfortunately, here's where our problem kind of breaks down. These cats should have been fixed before they turned into 20.
That's past. Now the problem is here. What should she do if she can't take care of them?
It's a good question, because this is our whole problem that we have now, is we have this situation, and then this situation turns into somebody fix it for me.
Okay, well, I mean, it got out of control. Okay, caller, are you still there? Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Are you able to take care of 20 cats at this point?
Well, what has happened, there were 4 in the original litter. The boy cats kind of just veered off and went down to the neighbor's house because she feeds a lot of cats. But the girl cats, I guess they're more home-based. So I guess when they got impregnated, which I work nights, so when I come home in the day, it's bad to say I just buy food for them.
Right, but
like
the
you
question...
said, I should bear responsibility on that, getting them fixed. But I did get some information, but I just didn't have the time to,
caller,
take them and get them fixed.
Caller, the question I have is, are you able to take care of them both physically and financially?
Well, yes, I can buy them food, but I guess I need to get more information about caring for cats and learning like their gestation period and all that.
Okay.
You know, this is a again, bless your heart for taking care of the kitties, and bless your heart for taking responsibility for not getting them fixed.
Have some compassion now. Come on, this is the animal compassion
I
team.
am. This is the animal compassion team. Let's be clear. And
It's not the human compassion team, right?
and love you, caller, because you are listening and you do want to make a difference. So you betcha. But the reality is like she said, they need to be fixed. And how do we stop it now? They have to get fixed. So now here's the question: if those cats go into a county shelter, they're going to be killed.
Right.
And that responsibility is not falling back on our taxpayers. That's one of the arguments.
Isn't that where Brenda Mitchell comes in?
Oh, yeah, and we need you to write the check to help us take care of those animals, because it goes back to there's only so many resources, and we desperately need our community to not let 4 cats turn into 20.
Oh my gosh.
Especially when there's so many resources available. Cat House on the Kings has been spaying and neutering cats for people for free for the last year.
Wow, really?
Madera's had free spay and neuter for the last year. So
see, how come people don't know about this? I didn't even know there was free spay and neuter
anywhere. A lot of people do, but the question is when I have a problem, do I look for an answer or do I wait for somebody to fix it for me?
Well,
no pun intended.
Things sometimes happen.
This is why Fresno's in trouble. Because
things happen.
We can't make excuses.
Okay, I'm not making excuses, but I'm saying it brings home your point, your original point an hour ago on this show when you said spay and neuter your animals.
Pets. Yes.
All right? Okay.
And even if the cat's not yours,
right,
spay or neuter it and let it go. Cats are the easiest thing there is to solve. Fix them and let them go.
Well, things happen. Things come up.
They do, but unfortunately, we go back to that rendering truck when it does happen.
Yeah. Someone off camera here said that get a dog or a cat because they they obey better than kids.
Oh, that's probably true. But I can tell you that I've watched parents who have really great kids and they also have really obedient dogs, and vice versa. I'm being reminded. The SNP team.
What is that?
That's a group of wonderful all volunteer.
SNIP.
That's right.
What does that stand for?
Oh my gosh, you ask me these hard questions. SNP.
Okay, all right, snip it.
Yeah, and they are.
Does that mean spay and neuter?
Yeah, they're dedicated to kind of being a clearinghouse for spay and neuter programs. So if you're like, gosh, it's John here, and I've got a cat and I don't know what to do with it, could somebody help me? Those are the ladies you can call, and they'll say, well, this is what you need to do to get your cat fixed. They can't solve all your problems for you, but they'll definitely give you the insight so that you can get it taken care of.
Well, once again, I want to commend that young lady for being able to take care of 20 cats, and she works at night and comes home during the day. Now, I know she probably should have spayed and neutered, but, you know, what are you going to do? I mean, things happen, things come up, and again, I commend you for that because you're very compassionate, it seems like. So I want to mention, if you want to, and take another shot of Edith there, and if you want to adopt, go ahead and take the close-up. There she is, Edith, and 10 years old. If you want to adopt her, 299-6364. The big fundraiser this Saturday at 11933 East Shaw Avenue in Clovis. Starts at 5 o'clock. To get in the door is $30, not $35.
It's actually $30 in advance, $35 at the door.
Oh,
so you
$35
were right.
in the door.
Yeah,
okay, $35.
Yeah.
And if you want to adopt a dog at your place, it's $185, $65 for a cat. And Edith is on the block. She's ready for adoption, right?
Yeah, she is, and she's a wonderful little girl.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you coming by with Edith. And,
Thank you.
Good luck to you, and come back again. We enjoyed you. You're a good guest.
Okay.
You're fun.
Oh, good. Well.
All right. Thank you very much, Brenda. I appreciate it. Brenda Mitchell, for the president and the founder of the Animal Compassion Team here in Fresno on South Orange. You can call them at 299-6364. Back tomorrow with another edition of Connect with Me on Me TV Fresno. By the way, the fire chief, Carrie Donis, will be here tomorrow as our guest. Better tune in for that. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.